Hello and welcome to Peaceful Mind in Life. Let's set aside the hustle and bustle of daily life and embark on a journey of self-discovery together. Today, we will explore a topic that is both profound and fascinating. 6 signs of a foolish person. But wait, before you nod or smile, let me clarify this isn't about judging anyone. It's an opportunity for us to reflect, grow, and avoid these mistakes in our own lives. So, prepare a warm cup of tea, find a comfortable spot, and join me on this exploration. Wisdom isn't just about what you know. It's about how you live, how you treat others, and how you learn from your mistakes. And here is the surprising part: there are 6 clear signs that someone might be lacking in wisdom. Are you ready to uncover them? Let's begin with the first sign. Sign 1, a closed mind. Imagine a fortified castle built with bricks of fear, arrogance, and stubbornness. This is the essence of a closed mind. People who live in such a fortress often reject new ideas, confining themselves to a limited world and missing out on opportunities for growth. Let's explore a real-life example. Mark, a department manager, firmly believed that the old ways of working were the best. When a younger employee suggested using modern project management software to improve efficiency, Mark immediately dismissed the idea, saying, "We've been doing it this way for 10 years, and it works fine." But in reality, it wasn't fine at all. His team constantly lagged behind competitors, and instead of acknowledging the problem, Mark blamed his staff, the market, and even bad luck. A closed mind doesn't just block new knowledge. It also stifles the growth of everyone around it. Wise individuals, on the other hand, are not afraid to admit that they don't know everything. Instead, they are always willing to learn and adapt. Remember, only when the walls of stubbornness crumble can wisdom take root and flourish. Be brave enough to say, "I was wrong, and I want to learn." That is the first step toward becoming wiser. Sign 2, constant blaming. Blaming others is like hiding the truth behind a shield. People who lack wisdom often excel at finding excuses, but this habit only harms themselves and those around them. Let's take a look at Lisa's story. Lisa organized a large conference, but unfortunately, it failed due to low attendance. The reason? Lisa delayed sending event information to the marketing team, which caused the promotional campaign to fall behind schedule. Instead of taking responsibility, she blamed the marketing team for not doing their job well. The consequences of blaming went beyond just the failure of the event. It also caused her colleagues to lose trust in her and prevented Lisa from learning from her mistake. Now, compare this with a different scenario. Wise individuals understand that taking responsibility is the key to unlocking personal growth. Blaming others will never change the outcome, but owning your mistakes and learning from them will help you become a better version of yourself. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, when was the last time you blamed someone else? And if you had taken responsibility instead of looking for excuses, How might your life have changed? Sign 3. Arrogance over humility. Have you ever encountered someone who constantly tries to prove they're the smartest person in the room? They interrupt others, dismiss ideas, and insist that only they are right. That's arrogance. And it's one of the biggest barriers to growth. Michael, a manager, felt the need to dominate every conversation. He frequently interrupted colleagues, mocked their ideas, and imposed his own thoughts. But when a project failed, instead of reflecting on his role, Michael blamed his team for not understanding his vision. Arrogance doesn't just cloud opportunities for learning. It also erodes the respect of those around you. Now, let's look at a different scenario. Another manager, Sarah, during a meeting, listened carefully to a new idea presented by her team. She smiled and said, "I hadn't thought of this before, but let's give it a try." Her openness not only fostered collaboration, but also led her team to greater success than expected. Humility isn't about thinking less of yourself. It's about understanding that you are not always right. Wise people embrace new ideas, listen, and are willing to admit their mistakes. Remember, growth doesn't come from proving how great you are, but from knowing how to learn from others. Sign 4. Lack of empathy. Empathy is the bridge that connects people. Without empathy, we not only live in isolation, but may also unintentionally hurt those around us. A lack of empathy is not just a sign of poor judgment. It's often the cause of fractured relationships. Paul, an employee at a company, publicly criticized Susan for submitting a report late, completely unaware that her son was in the hospital with a serious illness. Paul's actions deeply hurt Susan and damaged their working relationship. A year later, Paul found himself caring for his sick mother. As he sat by her bedside, he sighed and reflected on how he had treated Susan. Only when Paul experienced a similar situation did he realize how wrong he had been. But not everyone needs to endure pain to learn the importance of empathy. Consider Anna, a human resources manager. When one of her employees, John, was frequently late to work, instead of scolding him right away, Anna asked about his situation. She discovered that John was struggling to pick up his child after school. By adjusting John's work schedule, Anna not only helped him balance his life, but also fostered his loyalty to the company. Empathy is not a small action. It's a powerful force. It helps us connect with others, build strong relationships, and enrich our own inner world. Start with the simplest steps. Listen without judgment, ask questions instead of criticizing, and show genuine concern for others' stories. That's how we cultivate wisdom and humanity. Now take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you truly listened to someone? And if you start listening with your heart today, how might your relationships change? Sign 5. Fear of change. Change is an inevitable part of life. Yet for some, the comfort zone is like a cocoon, safe and familiar, but also confining. People who fear change often cling to old habits, even when they've become outdated. and no longer serve them. Michael had spent his entire life in the same neighborhood he knew so well. When his children encouraged him to move closer to them for a better environment, Michael refused, saying, "I know everyone here. Why should I change?" But over time, his neighborhood began to transform. Friends moved away, familiar shops closed, and the once familiar atmosphere faded. Eventually, Michael decided to move closer to his children. Not only did he feel the warmth and love of his family, but he also discovered new opportunities, new friends, a vibrant community, and joys he had never imagined. Michael's story isn't unique. Take Lisa, an office employee, for example. She resisted learning a new technology skill because she believed, "I've worked this way for 20 years, and it's been fine." However, when the company adopted new technology, Lisa fell behind and struggled in her role. It wasn't until she embraced learning that she realized change not only helped her stay relevant, but also opened the door to personal growth. Fear of change doesn't just limit us. It makes us miss out on valuable opportunities. Life is like a flowing river, always moving and transforming. If you try to hold water in your hands, it slips away. But if you learn to go with the flow, you'll discover countless wonders along the way. Ask yourself, when was the last time you resisted change? What might happen if you bravely stepped out of your comfort zone? Remember, change doesn't mean losing something. It means opening the door to something new and meaningful. Sign 6, talking more than listening. Talking too much without listening is a classic sign of a lack of wisdom. Wise individuals understand that silence and listening are not only ways to learn, but also essential for building lasting relationships. Take John, for instance. During a family dinner, he constantly interrupted his wife and children as they tried to share their stories, always thinking that his own tales were the most important. He left little room for his family to express themselves, creating a growing sense of disconnect. One day, John noticed the silence at the dinner table. Instead of speaking over his family, he began to truly listen as his son shared a story about his day at school. That simple act of listening brought smiles back to the table, rekindling warmth and connection within the family. John learned that listening isn't passive. It's an active skill that fosters respect and understanding. This skill isn't just vital in family dynamics, but also in the workplace and social relationships. In a company meeting, Sarah, a skilled manager, always listened to her colleagues' opinions before making decisions. This habit not only built trust among her team, but also led to unexpectedly creative ideas. Listening is an art, and like all arts, it takes time to master. Remember, sometimes silence and attentive listening can speak louder than words. If you find yourself talking too much, take a pause, ask questions, and genuinely listen to the answers. The next time you feel the urge to interrupt someone, remember that listening has the power to transform relationships. So, are you ready to practice active listening today? The journey of personal growth is not a straight path, but a series of steps through challenges, mistakes, and learning. At some point, we all exhibit one or more of these signs. But the key is not to avoid mistakes entirely. It's to recognize them and use them as opportunities to better ourselves. Like sunlight breaking through the leaves, change will guide you towards something better. Don't fear, don't hesitate, because every small step is part of a grand journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and spread these meaningful lessons. Subscribe to Peaceful Mind in Life to stay connected with more insightful content. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your journey might inspire others. Thank you for watching, and may peace always accompany you on your path.